By now, I'm sure everyone knows about the Chris Chan situation. It's very upsetting, to say the least. If you have no idea about what I'm talking about, Chris Chan is an internet figure, a presence, I guess, and a lot of people are obsessed with following Chris and obsessed with the things that he does. A lot of people document Chris. It's just been like this for literally the past 2 decades or so since he got on the internet, and because of this, he has been trolled so many times, nearly 20 years. He is severely autistic and clearly has intellectual disabilities that doesn't allow him to understand social situations. He basically has the mental capacity of an 11-year-old child, and because of this, it allows Chris to be naive and gullible. He's also socially inept, and he doesn't really have the capacity to reevaluate his situations and really learn from his mistakes. So he continuously gets into situations like this because Chris is naive and people take advantage of that. So basically, the development here of the latest Chris Chan stuff is that Chris was recorded on a phone call with someone at the time, July 31st, when this was posted. We didn't know anything about who this person was, but now we do know who she is, and she is a sick individual from everything that I've heard about her and read, and the things that she's said and done, and the pictures I've seen, everything. And we will get to Isabella Loretta Janke. Trust me, we'll get to her. But for this, I want to stay on the person that I'm focused on in this video. Chris admitted to having sex with his mother in this recording, and actually, let's really call this what it is, since Barb is clearly unable to mentally consent to this, and she wouldn't in a sound mind. We know that she would not consent to having sex with her son. This would qualify as rape, in my opinion, and it makes this whole situation even worse, again, because I mentioned Chris's mental state. This is really an awful situation from both ends, because from Chris's point of view, it looks like he doesn't even understand morally why what he's done is wrong, because he only understands that it's wrong legally, that he's not supposed to legally because it's against the law, but he doesn't understand that morally he should not have done this to his own mother, that he should not have these feelings, sexual desires for his own mother. He doesn't understand that, and that's what concerns me about the situation. It's just really sad, and it's disgusting to hear about. He literally said how he would find his mother's G-spot. He was the only one to give her an orgasm, apparently, and he also mentioned how he would do this every 3 days. And just think about that from a point of view of like Barb for a second. Like, she is clearly not mentally sound. She either has Alzheimer's or dementia or a combination of both or something. Her brain is not right. She is deteriorating and cannot consent to any of this. Just she can't. On top of that, imagine if her dementia is so bad that she literally forgets from day to day, especially if a traumatic experience like this happens and she forgot it, and then 3 days later she's got to re-experience it again from her own son. Like, isn't that so fucked? It's just, think about it from that perspective, of that where you like re-traumatized over and over again. It's just so upsetting. This whole situation is just so upsetting, and I don't even know how I can continue on, because it gets even more disgusting with the responses that have been going on in the Chris Chan community, and that's really where this main video is about to go. So we are going to talk about GiBi or Devon, whoever this person is. He is known in the Chris Chan community. He's actually one of the bigger influencers in the Chris Chan community to report on updates about Chris weekly. He posts timeline videos about Chris. He just posts everything about Chris. And he's relatively popular compared to other people who report on this. That's where we're going to get to, because his actions for a bigger influencer not only concerned me, but disgust me, because of his motivation to do this is now filled with, I've got to get the news out there before anybody else gets to it and reports it, because I have to be number one, because I'm making money and I like the fame. But I don't know what to do with that fucking fame, so I'll just keep doing what I'm gonna do. So yes, I am angry, and let me explain why I am angry with this man. Here's what he did. as the news started coming out more about Miss Janky over here, GiBi wanted to be the first person to know about the latest developments. There's no way he wouldn't want to report on this whole shit that's going on with Chris. Of course he would. So without waiting until more information came out about this woman who called and trolled Chris, this sick individual, he goes to the troll himself to get the latest scoop. That isn't a problem, I guess. If he wants to hear from her perspective, it's not. But morally, to me, it's kind of like you don't know the whole situation about who she is, and you're going to then give false information to your fans about this person when you don't even know the whole story yet. So what he does is, in this video that he posts, he doxes this person that was known in this whole situation to have a crush on Chris. This person was also autistic and vulnerable as well, and was lured in by Isabella and her whole group of degenerate trolls as well. This person also suffers from being unable to understand social situations all the time and being able to be manipulated by others. And because the internet is a dark and disgusting place, of course there's going to be people that are going to go harass her if they know the situation. The person was doxxed in the video because GiBi failed to block her information out and didn't get rid of it, so people were able to go and find this person. And another reason why I'm making this video is because I don't really like the way GiBi's been handling himself about the situation. It's very frustrating when you know that he's making money off of the Chris and everything that's going on about him, but then he doesn't really want to acknowledge what he did was wrong, or maybe not monetize this situation because it's really fucked up and wrong. Oh, and it gets worse because of all the harassment that this person was getting. They actually had to check themselves into a mental health facility. So, great job, GiBi. I'm really disappointed because I did follow GiBi and respect him for supposedly posting what I thought was factual content, which might not even be true, and apparently that he's done this type of shit in the past to get news out. So it's just really upsetting to, be duped and believe that someone's doing something, just to kind of report on the news of something, and then you find out again they're just a greedy asshole who wants fucking money over doing what's right. So I thought that I should go over everything that GiBi has said in response to this whole situation.
Just for you, Devon.
Just so it's all in one place. It's all from the KiWi Farms, and I know everybody has different opinions on it, and it's whatever, but I'm going off of this information that has been posted, and many people have corroborated this whole situation, so I'm to believe that this is actually truthful because GiBi posted and there are screenshots of it. So we're going to go through this whole timeline of things. On August 6, 2021, Devon posts, "I deleted the last video temporarily because it accidentally had Fiona's personal information in it, and by the time I was able to upload it, and the story had drastically changed, so I kept it down." The people on KiWi Farms were clearly upset by this and what he did and everything that spiraled out of control because of this really stupid act that he did. He really did try to make himself, apologetic about the situation and recommend that people check out the Commie Dick Girl video on the interview with the people who know Isabella Loretta Janky and everything. On August 3rd, Devon says, "My video from last night was originally taken down for revealing private information. I've decided not to put it back up. KiWi Farms has been investigating for several days, and some of our sources are contradictory. I have also been criticized for spreading unverified claims. However, I will stand by my opinion that sharing what one party believes is itself newsworthy, and that I always had a disclaimer that it wasn't to be treated as fact. If anyone has information, please come forward. I would recommend going to the farms and getting verified, as they don't trust my anonymous sources." Later on, GiBi would then go back to Twitter again to throw shade at KiWi Farms because GiBi believes that there is a lot of misinformation on KiWi Farms, and that it would help if the Kiwis did their research. And you get how ironic this is, because Devon barely does his research when he's delivering news, instead of waiting for all of the information to come together so stuff doesn't contradict like it just did, Devon. He then goes on to say, "It's the same with the idea guys. They needed to be stopped. I just wish the investigation had been done privately and not revealed until it was done, because it spread a lot of misinformation, like the first day they were going after Fiona hard." Apparently this is off because the KiWi Farms weren't really going hard at Fiona at all, really. Devon then says, "Because I never cozied up to them and the Kiwi had bad info. What do you want me to say?" On the KiWi Farms, I'm just going to read directly where it says on this thread here. From here, GiBi would later spread more information on the Bella leaks, parsing the Encyclopedia Dramatica article claiming that Bella was originally a Tard Wrangler assigned by Null to help Christian out. Note, he did not double check with Null, with any Kiwis, or with anybody on the web at the authenticity of this article's edit.
Null, who is the owner of the KiWi Farms, wanted to create a bodyguard system for Chris, and Bella was to be one of the bodyguards.
So he posted this video just with the responses from one side, which was Isabella's side, and not verify this with anybody, which in turn, he just spreads false information without checking or verifying first. So it just, again, in this whole timeline of events, he's just added false information that people will spread around to other people to say that it's true when it's not true. And people will get confused on what actually is the truth and create doubt about the whole situation. Do you understand why that's such a bad thing, Devon? I'm not going to read through every response that he says or everybody that responds to him, but I will post all of these screenshots so you can pause and read them all. Basically, the gist is that GiBi responds to people in a way to either deflect, misdirect, or to just completely deny something that we literally just heard you say in the actual video. And you just see how he completely deflects and doesn't even just own up to the fact that he made a mistake. And he just goes on and on about how he didn't rush the video out, how he's not in it for the money, they can say whatever they want. All of this stuff basically just to avoid the fact that you did this thing that you shouldn't have until you got more information, because you just had to. You just had to get all of this information out before anybody else. And because of that, it led to a chain of negative consequences for a lot of other people, because you just couldn't help yourself, Devon. You just couldn't. And I really wanted to believe that you weren't a person that just gave a shit about clicks and money, but I know that you do care about money, because all of these videos are getting monetized and ad revenue, because when I click on it, there's ads, so I know you're getting money for this, Devon, and I doubt any of that money is going to go to Fiona or to her parents in this time that they're going to need, because their fucking daughter is in a mental health institution because of your contribution to this misinformation and leading people to go do things that they shouldn't. Not saying it's directly your fault, but when you have a platform and you're an influencer, you need to think before you do something. You need to actually think about the consequences of your actions instead of rushing something out. Yeah, you can claim you waited 3 hours or so. It doesn't help matters because you still weren't able to keep Fiona's information from getting out there. And we already know what happened after that. I'm not trying to say that anybody go and attack anyone. I really don't want this to keep going on like this, but I thought that I should put all this information here in this one video so people can be reminded of what GiBi did when they think about clicking that subscribe button or they think about watching his videos on Christian, because we know that he might not always be giving us the correct information and he might just rush out to give us false information anyway. I'm not trying to be that person because, like I said, I did respect GiBi and I thought that Devon was doing things for the right reasons, but he started getting on the fucking hype of everything, started making jokes in the thumbnails because he knew it would attract the normies who have never heard of Chris because they see the funny thumbnails about Chris going to jail and Arrested Development. It's not funny, Devon, and you're reporting the news, so you really shouldn't make it about jokes for clicks. That's all you care about, clicks and money. Just one more fucking influencer that I can just put on my checklist of not to trust. So congratulations, Devon. I hope you're happy.